Women are capable of holding many balls in the air, and that's what Jacqueline does so well, and are absolutely capable of being probably better bosses than most men because they work harder and they work more focused. See enough examples of women that are kind and good at their jobs and have integrity and are balancing many things all at the same time, which is what Jacqueline's doing. And really, that's what every woman around me is doing. It's what I'm doing. And I just felt it was important to see a representation of that, and also to give the younger generation an example of what real leadership looks like, what real mentorship looks like, and that way when they see something that is not right, they'll have some touchstone to be able to go, that doesn't feel and look right to me, and so I'm going to speak up about it, and I'm going to change that, or I'm going to go to a superior and I'm going to call that out. I also know that a mentor can't be a mentor unless you ask the questions. Right. You know, I had somebody ask me if I would mentor them, and I took that on, but I remember at one point having a conversation with her saying, you know, I just so you know, I don't have the time in my life to bring you things unless you ask me. I can only bring you what I can bring you, and I did bring her some things, but I can't give you more than you ask from me. So that's a very important piece of the mentor-mentee relationship. I think people who are really mean are you know, they're mean inside to themselves. They're all of that is pointed inwardly tenfold, and I think that you know, Jacqueline is a happy person, you know, at her core, and therefore she can exude that happiness. So yeah, of course she could have gone that way, and then that would have been more like a Devil Wears Prada kind of situation. But that was the very thing I wanted to avoid. That women are capable of holding many balls in the air, and that's what Jacqueline does so well. I see it around me all the time. Every woman I know is holding many balls, and I also think that, you know, women are excellent at delegating, and that we can create a community of people that can support us in a way that men don't know how to do. One of the things I really don't like is when you show a woman in the workplace who is, you know, succeeding and doing wonderful things, but then in her marriage, it's like all like perfect and everything's perfect, right? I didn't want Jacqueline to be a perfect character. I wanted her to be a human character. And I thought that it would be a really interesting thing to watch a woman like Jacqueline navigate struggle and navigate, you know, through difficult times, because I've been with my husband, we've been married for almost 24 years now. And I've known him for 32 years. And so, you know, anyone who's been in a long-term relationship knows there's ups and downs. And it's not something you can really capture in you know, one scene of a show, but I think you can capture, I think it's good to be able to. And one of the things we were really, really specific about, the writers and I really wanted it to be that they navigated through this challenge with love, and that they weren't petty, and they have history together. You know, they have 2 children together, they have a history together, they have a life together, and we just didn't want it to. We knew that they were going to find their way back to each other, but we really wanted it to try to feel realistic, you know, of how they might, as grown-ups, decide to take a step away in order to find their way back to each other in a more meaningful, more connected way. So it wasn't hard for me, because I felt like we were doing a service to the story and to the arc of the character, and just, I think to people, I think giving people that example is good. Yeah, I mean, I that's another thing I love about the Bold Type, right, is that you really see women you know, giving women support. I do think that's a problem, though. I think that I have seen that for sure. And I think that we are just now really starting to look at that. the thing is that women bullying other women, there was a time when I could see where that comes from. Is it comes from scarcity. It comes from the fact that there were less jobs available for women. And now, as we're trying to correct that disparity all over the world, I think that, you know, women need to really understand that it is their downfall. When they start taking women down, they're taking themselves down. And that really we have to all come together and support and make room for everybody, because there is room. Ultimately, there is room for everybody. And we now have to support one another to keep carving out new spaces, making more room. You know, it's a big, big vice that is closed on us. It's more open now, but it's going to take all women to come in and really push those doors apart. So I would just say, you know, think of it as a larger gesture. You know, that when you're taking someone down who's another woman, you're really taking down all women. And you're actually, women absolutely want that and should have that and are absolutely capable of being probably better bosses than most men because they work harder and they work more focused. They work better, and actually they are just statistically better multitaskers.